Till that a California man found an unopened copy of a 1987 Nintendo game called Kid Icarus in his mom's attic. It was still in the original shopping bag along with a receipt showing it cost $38.45. He later sold the game at auction for $9,000. $9,000 is nice and all, but you know he was still pissed his mom forgot to give it to him back in the day. That game was great. I didn't realize how expensive games used to be. 45 in 1984 is equivalent to $89.98 today. I remember getting into heated debates with my friends over whether it was pronounced Icarus or Icarus. Fortunately, my friend's uncle worked for Nintendo and he was able to set us straight. I had that game and it was awesome. That's not much compensation for a ruined 1987 Christmas. My first instinct would have been to open it and play Kid Icarus, so either way I never would have seen that money. Damn Kid Icarus game. All I ever wanted was to get to the level where you got your wings, but no matter how many times I rented it from Blockbuster I could never get that far. My God, you know how I know I'm old? Articles describe something you loved as a game called Kid Icarus. According to Heritage Auctions, there are fewer than 10 known sealed copies of Kid Icarus. So having a hard time with the estimate there. Kid Icarus is the first game I ever beat. Crazy. Kid Icarus? That's my game. I had the first official entry on Twin Galaxies for beating it with 1 life. High score / speed run, both well defeated at this point. 45 is $87.70 in today's money, and they say games are too expensive now. First of all, when did I get so old that it's now a copy of a 1987 Nintendo game called Kid Icarus, rather than a copy of Kid Icarus? And second, man, I didn't know that common classic NES games are worth that much now. Unopened helps I guess, but I still got a ton in mint condition in the box. He should have left it in the attic for the next generation. It would be worth $576K. I just found a brand new unopened copy of Paperboy for NES, still in the bag with the receipt, in my grandma's things that was obviously a forgotten gift. I wonder now if it's worth anything. 54 Adventure. RIP Venture, my brother was in a coma for about a week when he was young. This is the game he played in recovery in the hospital, not on topic, but one of those memories you don't forget. Are you kidding me? I had this game as a kid. Probably sold it for $1 at a garage sale. At least he can use that to pay his rent for this month in California. I used to pronounce the name of this game Kid Icarus. I remember seeing that on the local news. Dad was shocked because it was a game. I was shocked that he even found a copy. I had that game. It was fun, one of the best games on the NES. Posts like this make me feel old. If I for some reason have an unopened copy of NBA Action 94 for the Genesis, do I get $9,000? Maybe there's a Marv Albert fan out there. The question, how much would $38 be worth today if put in an index fund in 1987? Edit, I calculated it. About $650. Turns out the game was a rare antique that actually beat the stock market. My impulse control is too weak for this. I would have immediately opened that game, then like 8 weeks later gone and bought an NES to play it on. In 4 idiots think their opened Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt is worth literally anything. That's all these articles do. That reminds me of a time when I won old comic book in some RPG quiz. Later sold it for about $500. It is a nice feeling, smiley. I think I have an unopened Dragon Warrior in my basement, maybe I'll have to test the waters. So you just know he was a little shit in 1987 LMAO. Lucky it wasn't put in the oven. I once sold a rare cassette tape on eBay for $1,000. I paid 25 cents. It was pretty amazing. My grandmother found a present buried in closet 10 years after she had bought it. It was a dartboard for my brother. I have an unopened copy of Hogan's Alley with the receipt still taped and labeled December 7, '88. Nobody's been able to give me an estimate on the value, it's been sitting in my drawer for over 2 years. My parents found a sealed Zelda game and sold it for a shit ton. Probably not even close to rare, but I found an unopened Super Mario Bros. 2 card, in the shrink wrap in my mom's closet after she passed away. I was being a little shit on the way home from where we bought it, catalog store. Service merchandise, that it went into her closet. I guess we both forgot about it because there it was 30 years later. I wonder if it's worth anything at all. My fave NES game. I can still hear the music. Good one. I found a Clarice Cliff 1929 Cuban pesos and saucer in perfect condition at a thrift store. Paid $3, sold it to a bloke in England for almost $600. She's super popular in England. It was so rare there weren't even any pictures of a similar one online. I saved my pennies to buy this game used. That game was unbeatable. Fuck that game. Kid Icarus was an awesome game. I have a friend who named his band after that video game. Damn, I remember that game. The Eggplant Wizard was an asshole. Seems ridiculously expensive. Almost $90 at today's valuation. That is ridiculous. Kid Icarus was a shit game. It's the one everyone played once and then went to others that were better. $9,000? For fuck's sake. Icarus fights Medusa Angels. Kid Icarus was a fun game. $9 for Kid Icarus? I have that game with the original box and sleeve. Not unopened but in near perfect shape. I'll take $4,500 if anyone's interested. $38 was basically $9,000 in 1987. Heritage auctions are the ones running this, and they've been getting weirdly high auction prices for older video games. Feels like a bubble, because it's such an odd game to go for $9,000. https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v=85j_b3b7cj8 for more info. Who would pay $9K for Kid Icarus? I get it's in the packaging but still, wow. It's so weird seeing random unopened shit from your childhood worth so much money. Like, neat, an above average Nintendo game I beat as a child that only had a single less than average sequel on 3DS, really $9K. Greedo Island. My game's ABD videos stored in the attic were ruined. The Heat. Not Florida Man this time. Man, that was one of my favorites. That was a fun game, but I wouldn't pay $9,000 for it. I loved that game. 45 in 1987. That was an expensive ass game. I loved that game. I still have unopened Power Rangers, I guess that's not the same. I guess dementia runs in the fam. This seems like a weekly thing on the r/game collecting subreddit. As always, California man gets rich, Florida man goes to jail. A 1987 Nintendo game called Kid Icarus. Called Kid Icarus? It's not really an obscure title, lol. I remember Kid Icarus. Was a fun game. Realistically, with Wotton now grading games and selling them at exorbitant prices, he may have undersold this game. Collecting markets are weird. Lucky mofo, and smart. I would have played that shit. That game was so good. When I stayed home sick from school, I'd pop it in first thing in the morning, and in what felt like a blink mom was home. Seeing that game cover brings back so many old gaming feelings. If anyone cares, the return on investment of that game was just under 18% a year. Way more than the stock market average. Makes me wonder what you could store away from today that might be worth money in 30 years. Legendary card. The hardest game I ever played on NES. I loved that game. To you younger Redditors, that's the one Pit in Smash Brothers is from. Dude, Kid Icarus was the bane of young me's existence. That game was fucking hard. I have sealed black box games and I didn't pay anything close to that. I could see Little Samson or Panic Restaurant, but not Kid Icarus. Careful Kid Icarus, with your wax wings and your Van Dyke beard. Careful, Icarus. $45 in 1987 translates to just under $90 today. Is it just me or does that seem excessively high for a video game back then? Man, I loved that game. I've got a tabernacle at Pendrell which is still in the sleeve from when I was trying to sell it for $16.50 at the local consignment shop. I set the price a little high because I didn't really want to sell it. It was probably $10 to $12 at the time. Now it's worth about the same amount. https://www.price.com/set/legend/the_tabernacle_at_Pendrell_vale, just drop the decimal and add a comma.